Paul Sturges is a dedicated employee at Nixon Oil Company. One day, he is sent to a small Mexican town named Baja California, where his job will be to check on an offshore oil rig called El Diamante. On this journey, Paul also brings his wife, Inez, and his two children, Audrey and Tommy. His will is to rejuvenate the company in this town, instead of decommissioning it, but Paul and his family will be surprised when they find out that the hotel they are supposed to stay in is closed. The town looks very empty, and the locals are unpleasant to the family. They look at them with an air of distrust, and after Paul tries to engage with a few locals by telling them about his affiliation with Nixon Oil, the locals' ire will even intensify. They seem to indirectly accuse this company of causing harm to the area. After the unpleasant reception and tense situation, Inez stepped in and tried to diffuse the rising tension by asking a person known as El Rey to help them in finding a place to eat. As they walked toward the restaurant, the desolation of the town became evident. This emptiness was a hint that the town has a secret that was hidden for a long time. After arriving at the restaurant, Paul will decide that he will have to proceed with his inspection of the oil rig and will ask Inez to find an appropriate place to stay for them. Thinking that it would only take a couple of hours, Inez agrees, and Paul finds the boat that should take him to the company's platform. His boat operator is a man named Chocolatito, who, while traveling, will tell a story to Paul, claiming that El Diamante has roused the dormant demon, attributing this to the reason behind the villagers' mass exodus or migration. Paul chose not to believe in this story and even laughed at it. After passing halfway, the boat operator Choco will refuse to continue the journey by telling Paul that there is a bad vibe. He will offer him an alternative to travel alone by a motorboat. Paul embarked on the voyage to the oil rig, where he was met with an unsettling sight. There was nobody around on the platform. Now Paul starts to believe the words of the boatman. Shortly after arriving, his attention will be captured by a small dog, and a moment later, he will realize that he is not alone on the rig after all. Two men will try to assail him. They hadn't anticipated that a representative from the company would visit the rig, but once Paul clarified his identity, the two men named Chato and Junior gradually began to disclose the details of what had transpired at El Diamante. Their explanations started to shed light on the mysterious and troubling events that had befallen the rig. And while Paul is trying to do his job, Inez and the children are enjoying the sight of the sea from the shack's vantage point. But their tranquility will be disturbed by a group of men who will shout at her and the kids. Inez will react swiftly to the threat and will hit one of the group with a glass bottle. And after this, she and the kids will depart the shack. However, the group starts to follow them, and Inez is forced to pay some money to a local fisherman to take them to the oil rig. But even though they will successfully evade one peril, they will immediately be thrust into another formidable challenge. When they drew closer to the rig, Inez and her children detected an eerie situation. They will get even more upset when Audrey dips her hand into the water and finds that it's covered with oil. Just short of reaching the platform, Chato and Junior will spot the presence of the colossal megalodon shark circling the boat. To try to divert the attention of the menacing El Demonio, both men will start shouting. The panic gets even bigger after Paul's boat disappears beneath the waves. Inez and the kids manage to reach the rig safely, but the ordeal is far from over. After everything, the family will head to the town, but soon after, the fisherman who transported Inez and the kids will become a victim to a brutal attack by the enormous megalodon. This horrifying encounter will make Paul and his family aware of the peril they are confronting. Now, Paul is not only tasked with the mission to revive the rig, but he is also burdened with the responsibility of safeguarding his loved ones from the relentless and formidable creature. Chato reveals that most of the crew members were killed, and only some of them managed to escape from the platform and reach the coast. He also mentions that the communication equipment on the rig is dead, and that's why their calls for help to the company are unanswered. Next, we find out that Nixon Oil was actually aware of the extensive oil spillage issue, but they didn't do anything to fix the problem. Inez will also find some safety reports that shed light on the warnings which were neglected. She will also notice that these papers have the signature of her husband, which will make her feel disheartened. Inez will confront Paul about this unsettling truth, and he will admit that he made some regrettable choices in pursuit of providing a better life for his family. Faced with a possible dismissal, Paul was actually made to sign these reports, about which he now expresses remorse for sacrificing his moral compass. Paul further exposes Nixon Oil's strategic implementation of self-inspections as a means to evade accountability for disregarding working conditions. He tells Inez that his attempts to address the company's irresponsible practices were met with direct threats, and that's why he found himself in this disheartening cycle, forced to serve the company's unscrupulous agenda. Chato and Junior will dive underwater to try to restore the power on the rig, and while in the water, they will also discuss the Megalodon creature. For Chato, the monster is a herald of the god of rain, Tlaloc, who punishes those who take too much from nature. While diving, Paul will find out that there's a bomb attached to one of the metal pillars from the platform. Now he realizes Nixon Oil's evil plan and why he was sent to come on this rig. Faced that their negligent practices would be reported sooner or later, and that they would be blamed for the oil spill in the water, the company's management made Paul sign the papers, and with him now on the platform, the bomb could be detonated so that he would take the fall and die. Simply, the company needed someone to blame. The people that Paul tried to please all these years now conspired to kill him. Faced with the danger, Paul decides to right his wrongs, so he comes up with a plan to save his family by trying to stop the leak. For this purpose, he will have to repair the valves and bomb El Demonio. Even though this is a risky move, there's no other alternative. Meanwhile, Chato and Junior are attacked by the creature, and while Chato escapes, Junior is sadly killed by the shark. Also, Audrey and Tommy came up with the idea to build a raft that they could use. Paul dives into the water, and even though he will succeed to stop the leak, he is faced with the other threat, the big Megalodon. The creature will force him to hide in the structure of the rig. He is aware that if he wants to save his family, he will have to sacrifice himself by using the bomb to kill the monster. And this is the most touching moment of the movie, when Paul uses his radio to say the last goodbye to his family before he allows the creature to eat him and the bomb together. The explosive blows and kills the shark, and also the rig collapses into the sea. Paul's family are intending to give the documents he gave to them to the people of the town so they can make the oil company face the legal consequences of their work. As they are coming near the coast, a fishing boat rescues them, while a rainstorm begins.